Hello there, friends. What a crazy day. We have seen Richard Hart doing a lot of anti-EHEX tweets, calling for PHEX unity. So as a summary, right, if you go through all my tweets, you see there is like, I really thought that PHEX would be contrarian by now, but actually it's not. It's consensus big time, and not to do with EHEX at all, but to do with PulseX, and PHEX. A lot of people are still super hung on the PHEX chart, but PHEX versus Pulse has been going down. Wonder where that plays out. Now, the summary of everything, it's interesting. I've been talking to everybody and just talking to the community, and what I've noticed is that, so when I show people, hey, Hex Cult, I love yous. There's 200,000 of yous. All right, we're in the Hex community, yes. When I explain something of how it looks from outside perspective, they lose the plot. They completely lose the plot. And they'll say, FUD, wrong, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. I'm talking to you from an outsider's perspective. The person you're trying to onboard, there's 200,000 of you. You can't move the price up and down. You can't. Okay? Only outsiders can. And Richard Hart, which we're going to talk about now. So if your real goal is to actually onboard people outside of the ecosystem, and they're telling you, we don't like how this is handled, and you got to do this or you got to do that, like, maybe just listen to them instead of calling them all stupid and saying, you don't get it. Stake PHEX 15 years and stuff, okay? Because they're telling you, look, it's not me talking, okay? The market is saying, you know what? It doesn't feel right. It feels weird that you let the market choose, then you change your mind. You had an EHEX, PHEX farm, and all these other things changed. And now you're basically putting the bullet to the back of EHEX's head and going, sweet, you're the fake Hex now, we're the real Hex. People outside the ecosystem, they see that as schizophrenic, okay? They see that as schizophrenic. They see that as untrustworthy. They see that as weird. You don't need to, not my words, it's them, friends. Go talk to other people. Have you spoken to anybody outside? When they're like, that's what they're saying, right? Now, if your job is to onboard them into staking and long-term and all of these, and you tell them, well, we all love Richard Hart, we do these, yes, he's great and smart. But then they see this, conflicting messages. They're like, whoa, man, if I do one step wrong, oh, look what happens. That's what's basically going on. So the truth, though, is you got to look at the facts. The facts are, after talking to everybody, I actually realized I don't know how much of you guys are trying to onboard, because you don't actually care about what outsiders think at all. The people who you're like, hey, trying to connect to them to get them in, you don't care about them at all. All you care about is Richard Hart's wallet. That's what I'm seeing for 99% of people. Just, that's the truth. Not even gonna say sorry. You all know it's the truth, okay? You're saying, well, you're all watching Richard Hart's wallet. He said not to trade, that he traded his DAI to Ethereum. Now he's long Ethereum, and everyone's waiting for him to rotate. So based off that, if you're all watching that, then that has nothing to do with long-term staking bringing value. Okay, Richard says he wants to bring long-term staking in. That's what he says. Okay, yeah, sweet, but that didn't do anything for like EHEX's value in the bear market before PulseChain were launched. Okay, so people can see that. They're not stupid. They can actually see, oh, okay, we get it now. All right, it's a no expectations. Well, but Richard's in a long Ethereum trade. He's going to rotate the profits. Sweet. That's why when they tell you, they go, all right, well, why should I stake 15 years? You go, I don't know. He's got to figure something out for the next one. You don't know that, but they're just trying to communicate to you. Okay, so comes down to the facts here. So everyone looking at people outside the ecosystem, I've been here. I know you're not even going to speak to them at all. You don't really care because they just say, hey, there's a billionaire, buys his own coins. He's going to make all the money and sweet. So I don't know how it plays out. I can't really control anybody. I've made 2,000 plus videos telling everyone, hey, this thing exists. There's a billionaire buying his coins and stuff. So it is what it is, because now everybody's had to backpedal, right? Trust the code. No, remove the code. Trust Richard. So that real DeFi principle stuff, what happened to it? Now we've all like moved the goalposts. It's like, no, I don't trust the code. I don't trust Richard. And Richard said to move on. So that's how everybody else on the outside is doing it. Now, on the positive side though, right, all positive, if there is a green monthly candle, they're not going to care. No one's going to care. They're going to, sweet, we're going to jump in. And I wonder how much of a narrative you'll be able to resurrect in terms of like convincing them, oh, I should stake long-term or whatever, right? Because he can really do anything he wants. If he wants, he can just inject $300 million into PHEX, send that up, and then everything else drags. That's very, very possible. He can do anything. A lot of people believe that he's going to do that. He's going to fight the ratios. He's just going to buy PHEX only, and that's what he's going to do. So no one really knows, but I guess you can't go wrong having everything, right? Having everything. But, or can you? Don't want to make that mistake, right? EHEX minus 74% in a day from his tweet. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. All I know is, okay, PulseX gets auto buy and burn. PulseChain, layer 1 chain, probably as Ethereum rises, it goes up as well. If you want to have PHEX, you can. It's starting to get cheap, but it's like, it's way consensus right now in terms of people still joining it here and there. So a lot of these moving parts here and there, there's people outside this ecosystem looking in. And look, it's not even me saying it. You're watching the breach. No one's coming in. They're leaving. You think, wait a minute. The founders called for unity and basically said, EHEX, you're dead. Goodbye. And then everyone's left. Okay. So you can't, when people show you this information, you go, well, that sucked. Like, where's the unity part? You know what I mean? If people show this information, I wonder why are people getting upset about this? Or they're like, hey, go take a break. Or makes no sense, or etc. Look, who's it make no sense to? It's been 3 years. You know what I mean? You got to think about people from these people's perspectives. But as we all know, a big green candle comes in, the dopamine charge comes back, and then everyone reunites again and everything goes on. So we're just doing that whole cycle thing. But make no mistake, I mean, look, after the treatment we just saw, I think you are basically cursing yourself if you tell people to do long-term stakes now. I don't care what anybody says, Richard says. You all know that, right? Look what just happened. Literally, look what just happened. Don't even talk to me. Go talk to everybody else. They're like, whoa, if I mess up once, this thing can happen. Yeah, it could. It could happen once before. Could happen again. So maybe it's just safer being in Pulse and PulseX until maybe some big juicy ratios appear here and there. I guess we'll see. Okay, you can't go wrong being in all of them, but that's how everybody's feeling and thinking. And I guess there's something for everybody out there. You can do that. Okay, but yeah, I've noticed. I feel sorry for a lot of the super loyalists. They've had to explain, rewrite, backtrack, move the goalposts here and there because it is what it is. But everyone else who can kind of like think for themselves is like, wait, I know what's going on. You know what's going on, friends. There you go. So yes, the staking didn't do anything for the bear market price. Okay, Hex was treated like a DeFi altcoin. It is still treated like a DeFi altcoin. It's still down 96%. Bitcoin 72K. Okay, so hopefully now it's treated like the altcoin and PulseChain, PulseX as well. I guess we're starting to rotate in. So you can just gather this information from this and you can decide how you want. Okay, it's not me saying, it's like, yes, you all promised Hex would be 55 cents by now and it would run first and it would be a DeFi bear market hedge and it would start a narrative and people just can't wait to bridge in and just every single thing's been going wrong. But here's the thing. You got a billionaire who's literally turbo long Ethereum waiting for the big giga send in it who's going to rotate anyway. Okay, so that's what you're basically playing for. So if you make profits out there in other stuff, I'm going to keep dumping into the core coins, okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all. Don't forget to catch you soon.